And we're live.
Tools of the past.
I ain't got time for your bullshit.
I have neither for yours.
I just went ahead and pushed the record button.
Or are we actually
Fucking going for it.
Well, hell. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
Nap all day, sleep all night, party never.
It makes more sense in German. The Germans gave it to me.
It makes more sense in German.
Yeah.
Is it like a common phrase that's
I
translated?
have no idea, but it was
Sleep all the time? Is that the moral?
It was given to me by a Deutsch woman.
Okay. Your wife?
And my wife's friend.
Oh, okay.
She thought it was the most hilarious thing she's ever read in her entire life, so she bought it for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what it means, but I'll wear the shirt. It's comfortable.
Cool shirt.
Yeah. Thanks.
So what's up? You just came in from Vegas today.
I just did a affiliate summit west in Las Vegas, California.
I didn't know if the podcast was going to happen. You flew in at
Las
our
Vegas,
normal
Nevada.
start time.
Yeah, I was totally not. I was definitely not going to miss the. How am I doing with here? Yeah, was not going to miss the podcast.
Well, you made it on time, my friend. How was the summit or whatever?
Well, the beauty of the affiliate summit west is that when the people that go to the affiliate summit west, a lot of networks and stuff put on these big parties. And the first time I went to affiliate summit west was last year
In Vegas
in
also?
Las Vegas. Yeah, this is so. This is like an industry trade show, right? So all the internet advertisements and stuff you see on the internet, obviously, the people responsible for putting those there are at this trade show.
Okay.
So the whole business is all there, and of course there's so much money. I mean, you know how much money Google makes every year, right?
Sure.
Like they're making billions and billions of dollars like every quarter. And it's driven by
It's all ads.
it's pay-per-click advertising. Well, it's their whole platform. Yeah. But it's kind of like people like me buying up all those ads and stuff, and agencies and people spending lots and lots of money. And so there's lots of money at these things, huge money going around. So if you have, if you plan accordingly, and you can get into like all of these parties, and these parties are held at like, nightclubs, private night, where they rent out booths and stuff, So if you're young, you're like into the that scene.
Sure.
I fucking can't stand that stuff. I can't stand it.
And you stayed at the Palms too, didn't you?
No, I ended up Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo.
actually, yeah.
I saw photos from the Monte Carlo. But
Yeah.
You told me on the last episode.
Yeah, I thought it was. I really thought I was staying at the Palms.
That's completely different.
Yeah, it's fucking night and day different.
So how was it?
Oh, it's so good. I had the fortune of this year. I'm a little more. I guess I'm a little more prepared. I was better prepared. I kind of knew what I wanted to do when I got there. You could buy tickets for this thing. Am I on the right thing? Yeah. Was that you? There you are. Look at that. Yeah. Anyway, you could buy tickets and you can do the standard trade show stuff.
So is it like a conference? Like
it's a conference
where you can go see different speakers, talk about different topics, and
but
just plan your day.
Yeah, but I think a lot of folks like myself not really too concerned with that side of things, because we already kind of know what works. We've figured out what works for us.
So what are you going there for?
Completely
Networking?
to networking to find other guys like me, like other marketers, and then also opportunities, other networks to work with for affiliate offers or direct buyers. I know it probably is not making any sense, right? But in order to sell traffic, you got to sell it to somebody, so somebody's got to buy it.
Oh, I hate traffic.
Yeah, traffic sucks. It's good for me. I like it on the internet, but
So did you succeed? Did you find somebody like you?
Oh man, I found a lot. I went to this mastermind group, and so it was like this big round table in this nice, expensive $15,000 a day suite, and there's like 10 of us in this.
So they're just doing these conferences like inside the hotel rooms?
No. It's a legit conference. But
the
conference. Most people that go there, like me, aren't going there to learn about WordPress or how to build a website. Right. We're like, where's the guy that's making 6 figures a month, because he obviously knows what he's doing.
That's whose brain I want to pick.
Yeah, and so you got to pay to be at the table. And so you get people who pay to be at the table, and you're going to get like higher quality people who know what they're doing and they're serious about what they're doing. They're not a bunch of amateurs and stuff. So I was sitting at one of these tables. It's like $1,000 a seat, and there's like 10 of us, and so we start going around the table and listening to all these other guys who are marketers and or business owners that kind of that spend their time doing what I'm doing, but on a much higher level.
Yeah.
And so connected with all those people, right? So it's almost like, whoa, your circle of influence just got way bigger.
Yeah.
Because you just connected with all of these kind of big fish, you know?
So do you feel that you've created like a lasting, some sort of bond between these guys where you can get back in touch with them?
Right now, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it's, so after the mastermind, like at the suite, we all loaded up into a limo and drove down to like the Brazilian steakhouse in Las Vegas. You ever been there?
I have not.
It's incredible. I've never done a Brazilian steak thing, right? I didn't know what it was. And it turns out these guys come around with like skewers, and they have like really good meat on them, like different cuts, sausages and chicken and steak and just you name it, they've got it. You know, tenderloins and different types of like ribeye and you know, top sirloin and so forth. And they come around. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
But they come to your like
these Brazilian guys with these skewers.
That's my kind of buffet.
So they're just kind of coming around. They're just cutting off all of these like really fancy pieces of meat, and then, you know, there's like a salad bar and everything, which nobody was really attacking very well.
Yeah, why would you get up and go to a salad bar when you got people bringing you meat?
Tons of it. Yeah. So that was really fun.
So what was the highlight of your whole trip? You were there for 48 hours, right?
Yeah. So most of the time I was just hanging out with like other people that.
The masterminds.
More like, just kind of like, you know, just kind of bonding with the people that I already work with.
Sure.
Because like a lot of these people, you meet them on the internet and you develop a relationship and a friendship with them over the internet, but you never really meet them in person.
Right.
And these events kind of give you that opportunity to. But it's so funny because it's like you meet the person for the first time, but you know that person.
Yeah.
You know, and
because you've already interacted.
And
with them.
there's no awkwardness or anything. It's like you and me meeting. You know, it's like,
hey, dude, what's up?
Yeah, what's up?
It's been a while.
You know, it's so crazy. So, so I got to close that gap on a bunch of people.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun. So I'm back. It was just a big blur. Super good time if you're an affiliate marketer, which there could be some affiliate marketers watching this because I pitched.
Hi there, affiliate marketers.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Go to ASW next year. Traffic and conversion summit's coming up in San Diego pretty soon. There's all these internet marketing things. The deeper you go down that rabbit hole, I think in any industry.
Oh yeah.
The more you connect with people, man, the more success you're gonna have. The lone wolf approach.
Just common sense.
Yeah, the lone wolf approach is not good. But anyway, we didn't do one last week.
We didn't do one last week.
Yeah,
so
what's up with
we got
that?
like a whole week missing.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I've done this whole.
I think it was a torrential downpour that stopped us last week.
Well, ain't that some shit?
Yeah, we had like 10 straight days of rain in Santa Cruz. Like redwood trees were coming down. The creek rose.
Yeah, that shit was. You had quite the river going on in your back.
Oh man, it was nuts.
Zayante Creek. Zayante Creek.
Yeah,
was a river, man.
It still is, but it's gone down.
Yeah,
I mean, it came up several feet in just like a matter of hours.
It's so crazy. You guys had that little cabin down there next to that creek. And man, when that thing like gets going, it's like fuck. That's like it looks like it's a couple of feet away.
Dude, I missed a day of work. I missed a doctor's appointment because of a tree that came down and took out the power lines.
Oh, really?
And they just laid out. I mean, I guess on the street for 2.5 days.
Oh, that's shitty.
I mean, at least I was stuck at home rather than stuck away from home.
Yeah, you could totally be fucked by it. Yeah.
It seems like they were letting cars back in at a certain point, but not out.
Well, I remember like PG&E has they were going to war up there. They had like a pre-staging area. You know, it looked like they had a convoy of just trucks. Yeah. Just trucks, like hundreds of trucks. That's what it looked like. I don't know how many they really had.
Yeah, they're prepared. I mean, it happens every year just about.
Yeah.
But this is definitely the worst one we've had.
That sucks.
Yeah, since I've been up here.
I even broke down when I crashed out at your house last weekend, so then I came home.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah, I never found out what happened.
It's all starting to come back to me now. Yeah. That was a huge bummer. It was a coincidence that it happened to be storming. That breakdown would have happened.
Well, that's the shittiest time to break down.
Yeah, that breakdown would have happened anyway.
Did you get out and like try to see what was going on? Or just sit in your car and call?
I knew exactly what it was. Okay. I had to check it. So I checked under the hood, and there was like a belt that was just chewed up and just thrown away. And I just went to Toyota like a month ago and had like a 90,000 mile check on, or just the overhaul maintenance package on it, and they replaced like 2 belts in there, and of course it was one of those belts that ended up fucking up.
So do you think they actually replaced it, or they screwed up?
Oh, I think. Oh, well, here's what happened. So what happened was somebody changed the oil, put too much oil in the engine, right? And so that caused some oil leaks to happen because there was too much oil. So he was checking the dipstick and he was like, "There's plenty of oil in here." Yeah, and it's like, and then there's plenty of oil all over the engine compartment too.
Yeah.
So they put too much oil in after they did the maintenance, and then it got on the pulleys and stuff. And it caused that belt to come off, and then it just chewed everything up.
Wow.
And then I just noticed something was weird. My power steering went out, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy, but for some reason it didn't click that there was a serious problem.
Yeah.
I didn't see any lights on my console or anything, so I was like, no big deal. And I was going straight for a long time, right?
Straight.
So it's not like I'm really turning or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like,
You're on the coast.
Yeah, I'm just cruising. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, lights come on. I'm looking at the check engine light, and it's like fucking burning up. And I'm like, oh Jesus, what a. So that kayak place down there?
Kayak Connection.
Kayak Connection. I just happened to like coast into that place.
That's actually not a bad place. You got some restaurants around there too if you get to stay there for a little while.
And then I had my little dog with me.
Yeah.
So
little Manilow.
Yeah, Manilow and I just hung out. First we called it AAA, right?
Yeah.
And then AAA wanted to charge me an extra $85 because I was outside of their 5 miles.
Oh,
right?
dude, you don't have the 100 miles?
Well, here's the thing.
It's only like a few dollars more a month.
Here's the thing.
What's the thing?
I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to call my insurance company.
Yeah.
Because I have the whole like comprehensive on my car.
You're double dipping on the roadside assistance.
Yeah, I quit. We quit AT&T or AAA.
AT&T.
We quit AAA. Once I discovered that we have 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with our insurance.
Yeah.
I was like, Eva, why the fuck do we have AAA? Not only does it suck, but it's like you got to pay more just to get towed.
Yeah. Well, the best thing about AAA for me is you can avoid going to the lines at the DMV by walking into a AAA office for most things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Take care of like registration and basic stuff.
Are you telling me that AAA is inside the DMV building?
No, you go to AAA office.
Oh.
And they have a DMV section.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for years. So I don't have to. You go in there and you're in and out in like 5-10 minutes.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd buy it for that.
Yeah, that's worth the membership right there.
But I haven't been to the DMV in like forever. When was the last time you had to go to the DMV?
I go to the DMV.
Yeah, you go to the DMV all the time because you get in trouble all the goddamn time. I haven't been to the DMV in 10 years.
I go to the DMV to get my registration renewed. I don't go to the DMV. I go into AAA.
Oh, but you can do it on your phone.
Yeah, but I don't like checking the mail.
Oh, you don't check the mail? You don't check your email?
No, email.
Yeah.
My stickers.
Oh.
They go in, they give your stickers right there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. You know what they should do? They should just say, congratulations, you've paid your thing. Now go down to the AAA office and pick up your stickers.
Yeah.
That's another option.
Yeah,
because I have to wait 2 months. And I'm always late.
I hate the DMV.
Fuck the DMV.
I hate it. But we were talking about the weather.
And the DNC.
Okay, that's how DNC. we were talking about the weather. And the worst part about this is skunks.
Fucking
And I don't know
skunks.
if you have any advice here, but...
I have tons of advice.
Dude.
I walk and breathe advice.
Maybe shitty advice.
It's not going to be good advice. Yeah.
So skunks got under my house, and they do this a couple times a year.
Yeah.
And they fight, and you can hear them. It sounds like a cat fight.
And then they stink the place up.
And every time you hear that, you can smell horrible skunk smell.
Violent skunk sex.
Last night it was so terrible. I mean terrible.
Yeah.
I had my blanket over my head. I had the windows open. It's like 30-something degrees
Just couldn't.
outside.
Okay, I got a solution.
And I could not breathe underneath it.
I got a solution.
How do you get rid of skunks?
You're going to have to go around and seal up your house so skunks can't get underneath your house.
Yeah, but they do it right in the yard. You got to like...
Yeah, well, you got to start with your house. At least when they drop those fight bombs underneath, they're not like literally underneath your bed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Seal up the house.
Because we had to seal up our house.
Up here?
Yeah, this one right here.
You
this
have
house.
skunks here?
Yeah, fuck yeah, we have skunks here.
Really?
Yeah. We had what did we have? I think we had a kind of a similar thing happen here. Something got in and just like laid some, like it was a skunk bomb, It was like fucking skunks. I don't know what they're up to, but and we're like, I just had the pest control guy. He that was like part of his service was
to seal it up.
Seal it all up.
Yeah, that may be what we have to do because some of the areas are not very easily accessible because of the way we're built on the side of
yeah. But
mountain there.
Yeah, what the pest control guy did was he just went down to Home Depot and got a bunch of expanded like metal. It was like fencing, mesh, wire mesh.
Oh, I understood up there.
And yeah, he did a great job. But it was, you can make patches out of that stuff,
So you got to hope the skunks aren't under there sleeping when you do that.
That's why the pest control guy, yeah.
Because then they die, and then you got to deal with the dead skunk.
The pest control guy had to go in and inspect and and he set traps. That's right, he set traps for like 2 weeks. Yeah. So he like closed everything off except for one way out, and if they went that way, they couldn't come back in.
Okay.
That's what it was. It wasn't a trap like we're gonna kill you. It was like
I've seen traps that
it's like an exit. It's like a no come back in zone. Can't come back in. So yeah, after 2 weeks he came back in the
exit, a no come back in zone.
That's what's the euphemism for exit? No come back in zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's what I would do. Costs some money, but you have a landlord. It's his responsibility.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're the property managers, but there is an owner.
On top of that, too, you could just say, man, we got to get this fixed.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $400.
We've had a guy come in who's like the handyman of the property.
Yeah.
And like put in some things that are supposed to be a repellent.
Oh.
Tried to block some of them.
Oh, I see.
But I think the one that's on the side of the mountain on the kitchen side.
Yeah.
It's no way you can get down to it unless you start chopping trees or something.
That could be where they're getting in.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's one of the places.
Can you get to it from like a crawl space or something?
No, I'd have to. If I was going to do it, I'd have to like wear my climbing harness and like tie myself off, and then because it's like down the side of a very steep slope.
Oh, I see.
On the side of the house.
Yeah,
it's like halfway down.
I see.
And I think that's one of the spots.
You should take a photograph so we can see this.
Yeah, I'll have to do it when my foot gets a little better.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That's what you got to do, though. Yeah, that's what we had to do.
I was just hoping I read on the internet like orange pills and lemon pills.
Oh, you just start throwing your trash down there? Like, just throw your trash down there.
Just throw some garbage down there.
And all of a sudden the raccoons are coming in fighting and shit. At least they won't stink.
Spray them.
Those turkeys.
Maybe they're fighting raccoons because I see raccoons there all the time. I don't know what they're fighting. I hear squeals.
Fighting raccoons. Fighting raccoons. They're aggressive, man.
Oh, those
raccoons, maybe they're fighting the skunks. Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Territorial bastards. Yeah.
So what airline did you fly?
Oh, fucking Delta.
No, I don't like Delta.
I didn't like Delta.
I like Southwest now.
I had the TSA pre though. That was kind of cool. So I zipped right through everything.
Didn't you have to take your shoes off?
No. It's amazing when you can just go to the airport and do what you should probably do anyway, because none of their shit's effective to begin with, right?
So do you have to get approved for that in advance? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Yeah, or pay $75.
Oh,
I think, and then they got a couple of different. There's like programs.
Yeah,
it's so funny how they can just like It's like class warfare. It's like how it's easy. It's like, well, if you got money and you can afford it, well, you don't have to get.
Well, what
searched.
if you're a shoe bomber?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you just pay $75?
Yeah, that's kind of like my thing. I'm like, who knows? They can do some background checks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's still like I'm sure it's not that hard to pass. I mean.
So if you're a terrorist, you can just get a fake ID.
Yeah,
buy a TSA pre-boarding pass.
I mean, unless you have like a history. The thing with terrorism these days is people are coming up and have never had like a history of crime. They're not even in any database.
The homegrown terrorists.
They're the homegrowners. Yeah,
they're homegrowners.
They're the homegrowners.
They're the domesticated.
They're missing something, obviously. Yeah, there's a gap there.
That's one of those things that's just going to be really hard to ever fight.
Yeah,
you got people looking up terrorists on the internet and. Hey, that looks fun.
It's the Anarchist Cookbook, man. It's like
give me a bunch of virgins.
Yeah, it's like the next Anarchist Cookbook in a lot of ways.
Do you remember that when we were kids?
What, the Anarchist
Cookbook in high school?
Well, I remember it was so good. It was so off limits that you had to ask for it at the bookstore.
Yeah, right. It was like,
remember that?
What was the name of the bookstore in the mall in them days? Like B. Dalton.
Yeah, it was like B. Dalton Bookstore.
Yeah, and Walden's.
Walden Books. Yeah, good memory. There's still what bookstore still? There's still a couple of bookstores.
Well, there's Barnes and Noble, but we didn't have one where we were at. I mean, there is now.
Yeah, that's like the only one standing. That's the only bookstore left that I can think of, aside from the independent.
Well, there used to be like Tower Records and Warehouse.
Borders. Oh yeah, remember those?
And those things. I don't even think there are. Well, there's like Rasputin music up here and like a media.
Yeah, the independent, like the
independent.
The independents. If you got an independent record label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I remember buying CDs, the compact discs.
I remember how expensive they were. I'd buy a poster and a CD, and it cost me over $30. And when you're like a high school kid,
CDs were like $19.99.
Yeah. I can't believe I gave so many of those away too, to the record store.
Yeah.
I gave my entire collection of like all my CDs.
You just gave them away.
I just wanted to get them out of my life. You know, it was like it was just like cluttered. I was like, if I really want that song, I'll just go buy it.
I'll just go download it.
Yeah.
I like listening to vinyl. I buy records.
I am back to I am definitely back to CDs in my car.
Yeah.
Just because it simplifies my life. Trying to do shit with my phone and make it all work with Bluetooth, and it just doesn't work. It's not where it should be. You know.
I have a headphone cable and a jack in my car.
That's another good way. But I like CDs, man. I just like CDs. I like to throw the CD in. I like to hit the repeat and just let it do its thing. Yeah.
And I like that too. But I didn't throw or give away my CD, so I still have all the ones from like 1996.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Dang.
And the problem is I've had them since 1996. So when I put them in there, it's like
some of them don't work as well.
Most of them skip.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still alive.
You need the disc doctor.
Yeah, the disc. What is the disc doctor?
It's like a disc cleaner. What it does is it takes off like a very thin top layer where all the scratches are.
It's like safety sandpaper.
It's like safety sandpaper
for your compact discs.
That's what it is. That's all it is.
You remember tapes?
I remember tapes. I have a cassette right around here of me playing guitar. When I started playing guitar, I would take two boom boxes and I would bounce them back and forth with the recording, so I could have.
So you have like a homemade 4-track.
That's my homemade multi-track recorder.
We used to do that.
I still got a cassette tape, me jamming away on my favorite just solos and shit. Just I love the guitar.
You remember when you couldn't if you didn't have a blank one to record on, you'd find like your shittiest tape that you didn't want no more, and then you had to put tapes over little indents.
Yeah, I got it.
That way you could
That's
record
exactly
on it.
what I had. Yeah, that's so funny.
Again, we date ourselves.
Well, yeah, it's gonna get worse and worse. We're gonna be like, remember when we had that podcast?
I have friends that make fun of me for having CDs.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I like CDs. I think the quality's way better too, honestly. And record sales, they're fucking out selling iTunes. I heard.
Really?
Yeah, which is amazing.
I love vinyl. I still get it.
I love vinyl too. I like this. The like I said, most people do too. They like fucking having an experience.
Yeah.
That's the problem with iPhones and digital music.
Just too automated.
And the artists don't like that either, because it's like, you know. It was a good. So Joe Rogan had James Hetfield on his show, and so Joe Rogan got into Napster a little bit with James Hetfield.
Are they still? I remember Lars was like a huge.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting because Lars Ulrich still gets like a whole lot of shit for all of that. I guess it's like it's one of those things like. He really had to throw himself under the bus, like be the sacrificial lamb for artists and their music, because he still gets shit for that.
I get it, because that's their livelihood. That's where their money's coming from. But at some point, they also, I think, need to see the writing on the wall. Technology's changing. You're not going to stop it.
Right.
By bitching about people sharing music. People did that with CDs anyway. You'd burn it for your buddy. It's the same shit. I think I lost a little respect for Lars.
Yeah, I did too. I think I think when it's something new like that. Well, and also it's like their music, right? That's like their product.
Yeah.
And it was another thing that James Hetfield brought up. He's like, when you record an album, there's a certain there's a certain way you want to convey it, communicate it. An experience that's supposed to be had with it, and when that thing gets leaked, it's like before it even gets to like the album cover, somebody's already stolen it and put it up on the internet. It's like it completely defeats the whole purpose of the process.
Yeah. Well, before albums. A lot of albums told a story, one complete album.
Yeah.
From the images on the inside of the paper, looking at the cover.
It was an experience.
The whole thing was like a story.
Yeah.
And now people just find the one hit that they want, download it.
In fact, people write music that way these days.
Yeah, it's very rare that you see an album written as an experience.
Like the Wall, or like Master of Puppets or something, or just pick one, like 10 from Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
That thing is going to be there forever.
It's like a whole story in itself.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, I kind of sympathized with you on that, because that would be very frustrating, especially when you're running a corporation.
Yeah.
Like they're like, say, the Metallica logo. That brand, that's like a corporation that it's a multi-million-dollar corporation that employs people and everything, and then all of a sudden, because some fucking intern thought it would be cool to rob them, so I get it, I get that.
I definitely understand.
But they were super aggressive. I think they're just like a little over the top in hindsight.
But see, Napster was just like the first thing.
Yeah, like everything. They're like pioneers, right? It's like the pioneers, you end up face down with arrows in your back. But then, somebody else would come over the top of you.
You have YouTube now, and every video you can find on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. And there's plenty of sites that you can go like take the audio right out of the YouTube video, and then you have it.
Yeah.
So it's just so easy to get music now.
Yeah. So fast forward, and you'll find like artists are not really relying on the music to make money, because you could look at there's Pandora, and what's the other one? Spotify pays out like fractions of a penny per play, and there was some ridiculous figure that, who was it? It was some pop star. I can't remember her name, right? But her like her hit song had been played like 1 million times on Spotify, and she got paid like, I don't know, it wasn't much, like
$43.
Here's $1,000 or something, and it's like, she took all her music off of Spotify. She's like, fuck that, and then Spotify's like, well, that's too, they're like a $2 billion company, and they're saying like, X amount of revenue goes to all the artists, and it's like, well, that's X amount that you would have never received, or plays heard. There's 2 billion people that would never heard that song without the Spotify.
I mean, it's also advertisement if you have an actual live show.
Yeah, so if you can embrace like the fact that your music is just going to get pirated, it's just going to be heard for free. If anything, you just got to treat it like a branding mechanism for who you are and the other shit you sell, whether it's going to be concert tickets or t-shirts. Like, talk to Maynard. Maynard's like the t-shirt mafia master. That's how he makes like most of his money. Well, I'm not going to say that, but a bird chirped in my ear, said, like Maynard's like the mafia master of t-shirts.
Like band t-shirts,
like band t-shirts for all his bands. Like, he makes tons of money on the t-shirts.
Now for his bands that he plays in.
Tool and Pussifer, and then the stores. He's got a couple of stores in Jerome, clothing store and stuff like that. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they just kill it online too, with his fan base. I mean, it's just a cash machine. On probably mostly shirts, and of course, if you got some good taste, which he does, you can go out and have like designs and stuff put on shirts, and So I mean,
some people just want to play their guitar and sing.
Yeah, and then there's, like you said, selling those tickets on the road, and or incentivizing your music so good that people are willing to go out and pay for it so that they can have that experience, that the kind of experience that just listening to it's not going to give you, right? So they were doing that for a while too. Like the DVDs or the CDs had videos and stuff embedded in them. I don't know if that ever really took off. I don't know what artists are doing these days. I buy my stuff out of convenience, really. I just don't want my computer to get infected with something.
Yeah, I mean, if I really like a band, I'll buy their album.
Yeah,
right, just to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to like the Sword, like go to the CD, and I go to the CD store, like Rasputin in Santa Cruz. Yeah. Bought up every single one.
There is not a Rasputin in Santa Cruz.
What is it?
There's a Streetlight.
Streetlight, yeah, that's right. Where's Rasputin?
There's one in Berkeley. There's one in Fremont.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's one in San Francisco.
I think it was SF. Those are really good stores.
Yeah, Amoeba's good too.
Amoeba. Yeah, I was thinking Amoeba.
Amoeba's the big one in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's a super good one.
But Rasputin is very similar.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rasputin,
you throw down some facts.
No, not really.
Dropping some knowledge bombs. But yeah, I don't know. I think like I know, like, just look. You can look at the Tool Pussifer model.
Yeah.
It's like Maynard just like lets his music just out. It's all over the place. There's people all over.
Well, you got to accept it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Accept it, adapt and overcome.
It's like it's there. It's inevitable. You could put up a little resistance, maybe regulate it as best you can.
Yeah. Well, when Lars had this fight with Napster, it was like that was the first.
That was the very first round.
Yeah, the first round of like, oh look, we could share our music online.
Yeah.
Along with everything, it was like software, games.
Yeah.
You can get anything off of
Yeah,
Napster back
yeah,
then.
yeah. Anything was.
And now I know that went to like BitTorrents.
Yeah,
and I never got into that.
Yeah.
But I guess that was something similar.
I
right?
did for a while, just for mainly music-related stuff, plugins and things. But ultimately, I ended up buying the stuff that I liked anyway.
Yeah.
Which I think was why a lot of software companies kind of let you get away with it.
Yeah.
Because if you're making any money at some capacity as a professional, you'll typically buy that stuff and license it, just so you don't have to deal with the headache of shit not working. It's like time is money. When you're making money, it's not a big deal.
Right.
So, if all the poor people end up ripping it off, and if they're still poor, well, then fuck, whatever.
Have fun with Photoshop.
Yeah, have fun with Photoshop. Good luck with your life, But
they're just pasting their head on someone else anyway.
yeah. So true. So true. Look at this this nice view here in this big camera.
Oh, do you got anything new in our setup? What's different today? Besides everything seemed to be working right off the bat.
That's pretty good. I think we're just getting dialed in, man. Nothing new in the setup. The more I take away, the easier it becomes. I'm waiting to get. I got to get some Final Cut Pro on my computer. Premiere Pro on my computer, so I can start cutting up some videos.
I have that.
Do you have Premiere Pro?
Yeah.
How'd you score Premiere Pro?
I had
Adobe. Did you go to the BitTorrent?
No, I bought it.
Oh, you did?
It might be a couple of years old. I don't know how new the software is, but I mean it's within like a couple of years. Somebody gave me a gift card or something for Office Max.
Oh, really?
And
you just went out and bought it, huh?
I went out and bought it, and I was going to do some video editing.
You should fucking install that shit on your computer.
Yeah, but my computer's not fast enough to run the damn thing good. That's what I did.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Boo.
I got good software and a shitty computer.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
But you could use it if you want to use it.
Well, I got a Macintosh computer.
It might have come with a Mac disk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Is it Premiere Pro? Probably CS6. Yeah, bring it over.
Okay.
I'll use it. Fuck.
Are we gonna snag the audio off of the stuff and put it on like a?
You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to do it. Yeah. That's all it takes.
I'll come over one day and
just buckle down,
and then we'll just do that.
We should just like come up with a couple of things that we just need to do. Like,
we've been pretty productive.
You know what?
Some music even.
I'm saying, what's interesting is like we actually get some shit done. That's good.
Sometimes.
Just showing up and doing a podcast once a week.
You know what it is too is we're not drinking.
Yeah, we're not drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
That really helps. That really helps. And that's to everybody who's watching. If you stop drinking alcohol, you become way more productive in life, and you're not getting as fat either.
Yeah.
Which means more cheesecake. Yeah. Not drinking 10,000 calories a week, a month, will definitely help with the weight. I was doing that when I was drinking alcohol. When I was drinking, before I decided to really quit, putting down about 10,000 calories a month.
Yeah.
Extra, right? That's a lot of calories. That's more than that's like an extra week's worth of calories almost.
Sure. Yeah, I still drink, but not nearly as much.
Yeah. Just can't handle the hangovers.
Yeah, getting too old.
Man.
Wake up and not feel good. It's like, oh man,
That's the worst.
not worth it.
Yeah, and more of those kind of start to sink in.
Well, the big time when you notice the difference is when you don't drink and then you look. It's like, wow, we hung out and actually got stuff done, got stuff recorded. Not just I think we played something good last night, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's I have to say it's probably one of the best things I've ever done for myself. Honestly, just quit the whole thing. Being in Las Vegas, it was kind of fun to watch people just get shit-faced, and
That's the place to do it. That's where people are really cutting
fucking
loose.
Sin City, man. That's an interesting observation of the human species.
Yeah.
Looking at, there's a need, right? For one, Las Vegas wouldn't exist if there wasn't a demand for it, right? There's a need for that outlet. Yeah. It's like the human being has there's like a pressure cooker.
It's like this place where people think they could go and just do anything they want.
I just think, and I think that's a necessary thing.
Feed your temptations.
Yeah. It's almost like things are kind of boiling over, and you need to kind of have a release of some sort.
It's like a controlled chaos.
Yeah. That's why I'm like thinking about all these what are the 7 sins? The 7
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's like the
greed and gluttony
and envy and all of it's like that's why. And I was like, that's why they call it Sin City, because they're basically fulfilling
all those things,
fulfilling
lust.
All of that shit, and I'm like, that's kind of funny because people fly from all over the world to like come here to get that release or that relief.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, sitting at a slot machine and smoking cigarettes just to kind of do it, or getting too drunk and falling over and pissing all over yourself. Whatever it is that you're doing.
Whatever stays in Vegas happens in Vegas.
Yeah, or you go to the Brazilian steakhouse and you eat 25, 30 ounces of meat, and you should have stopped at 5 ounces, that kind of thing.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, man, or have some cheesecake. I went to Ruth Chris. You ever been there to like a steakhouse?
I haven't.
So, one of the fortunate things, I was pretty much comped on everything.
Yeah.
So like all the dinners were paid for by, the network people that I know. And these trips and everything, all the little things I did was like people telling me, go here, I've taken care of you, I got your ticket and everything.
That's cool.
So I got taken out last night to Ruth Chris. I would have never taken myself there. And it was like another self-reflection. I was like, man, maybe I don't like myself enough to like treat myself to something this nice.
Chris.
Yeah, because I was like asking myself, I'm like, why would I, how come I've never like treated myself or like, decided my wife or us, my wife, I'm like, let's go someplace like really fancy, like a 4-star place. I've never done that. I've always thought, man, what a waste of money that is.
Yeah. It's good to do it every once in a while.
It's an experience, right?
Yeah.
You go there to pay the experience because they make it. Well, they don't make a big. It's not like there's a big dance and show, But when you have like this 4-star restaurant, it's an interesting. It's a fun thing to be a part of for a night, and it's worth $300. And the food's going to be amazing.
Is that about what it would be a plate?
No. The plate, like $100 a plate or something. My friend and Josh and I, we went and. It was like a $300 dinner, I think, between the two of us.
And that's drinks and everything.
Yeah. And I drank like a Diet Coke, so and he had a Scotch or something, like a cheap Scotch or something, and but we got like this 10-ounce. It was supposedly 16-ounce top sirloins or ribeyes. Really big.
Yeah.
And the waiter's like. He's explaining how they cook it, and it's over the top, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like
he's got a spiel.
Shit going this way, shit going this way. There's pressure, and there's like stages, and I'm like 2.5 minutes on each side, man. That's all it takes.
Yeah, cool. Just throw it on the grill.
2.5 on each side. You're all right. And then like $12 per side. It was super fun though, and really good. And then the Brazilian thing the next day.
Yeah, that sounds like you were well fed.
Way well fed. Yeah. I had this cheesecake at the Ruth Chris. I was like, I want a cheesecake for dessert. And the thing ended up coming out like half a cheesecake.
Like a whole cake.
Like take a whole cheesecake and like give me half of it. And then shape it into a circle, That's basically what
it was like your personal pan cheesecake.
Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, this is a lot of cheesecake. But I tried to eat the whole thing. And I knew eating. I'm like, this is about 1,000 calories. And there's probably like 600 grams of sugar in this whole thing.
I used to go to Las Vegas a lot. Yeah. And you remember because you used to come with me.
Your dad loved to gamble. You got.
Yeah, it was like a family thing. I remember getting books like every birthday and every Christmas from my cousins or something, and all of them was like, how to win at roulette or how to win at craps. I knew how to play all those games when I was like 12.
Yeah, I remember.
They used to like sneak me into the Vegas hotels and like, come on, boss, come play this slot machine, and we just played till I got kicked out.
It was so much fun, wasn't it?
It was.
Because I went with you guys a couple of times. We'd hit the state line, prima donna and stuff, and
all the time.
Just.
Right. But you know what? Back in those days, I feel like Vegas was a lot more family oriented because it went from like before that it was kind of like thought of as like gangsterish and
the mafia
like way back in the day,
like
right?
the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, it became like they had really, really super cheap dinners and really cheap hotels, just try to get people to come, right?
Yeah.
And then they went through this phase of let's make it a more family friendly place.
Yeah.
So then they had remember they had huge arcades and all this stuff geared for kids.
I remember
families,
that.
and like theme parks.
They don't have any of
stuff.
that shit anymore, huh?
No, they took all that out. Like they don't even have. It's very rare to even find cheap meals there anymore. Like,
I was just thinking that today because it's so fucking expensive to eat.
It's become all about money now.
It's like going to the airport when you eat.
Yeah.
It's like, you want a coffee and a muffin? Well, it's going to cost $16.
Yeah, I think they're like, you know what? We don't make money from families.
Fuck no.
Because they're not out gambling. We got to find stuff for the kids.
Yeah,
the amusement parks don't make as much as slot machines.
You're so right.
So they got rid of the family stuff. Everything's expensive. And it's like if you walk down the street one block, you've got 10 different people trying to sell you on 10 different things.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Everything from like taxi cabs to prostitutes.
Titty shows.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a very crazy environment.
It's completely shifted. You're absolutely right. I was whining about that today. Like I almost like thought about not eating like breakfast because I didn't want to spend like $16 on a fucking breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you guys, I gotta eat,
Yeah.
Yeah. The first thing I did, as soon as I got there, I walk up and I paid for. I used my American Express card to pay for my hotel and my flight, all through the American Express travel website.
Yeah.
And I get to the Monte Carlo and I'm checking in and they're like, oh, it's going to cost an extra $67 for the hotel fee.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck's the hotel fee?
Now too.
It's just like, oh, you want to use the lights?
Yeah.
And you want to use the water in our rooms? It's going to cost you.
That's like an advertising thing. So you go online and it's like, oh, we have rooms today for $99.99 special. So you're like, all right, I'll get it. Not knowing, there's going to be a $67 hotel fee.
Yeah.
That's
so
ridiculous.
you just automatically assume that you're going to end up spending like another 30, 40
Just
bucks.
double it.
$40 a night. It's going to be an extra $40 a night for their bullshit hotel fee. Just factor that in, because it's what's going to happen. Yeah, they do that on like everything now.
One thing I do when I go to Vegas, I try to eat really good food.
Yeah.
Every time I go, because I'd much rather lose my money
Yeah.
on feed myself good than lose my money for no good reason.
Yeah, if you're gonna get treated like a sap,
Yeah.
you might as well get treated good.
Yeah. I hardly, growing up, like I said, I gambled a lot, even after I became of legal gambling age.
Yeah.
Only for a few years, and then I was like, man,
And you started catching on.
I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
These places are big and fancy for a reason, right?
Yeah.
But I still enjoy going just to people watch and see a lot. I mean, they got a lot of cool shit to see. In
it's
Vegas,
a fun
like
place.
museums and stuff going on. It's just hard to navigate through all the bullshit and people trying to get you to fork over your wallet.
Yeah, that's so true. I love going. I don't gamble because I just look at I like statistics and I go, well, the odds are I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
So I'm out of here. I'm not even going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to even get started because they're going to win eventually.
Yeah. I enjoy playing blackjack only because I feel like
well, you got a
you
better
can play
chance.
for a while and kind of go up, go down a little bit. And it's not.
And poker too, I guess, right? You could technically, if you're any good at poker.
I don't play a lot of poker there.
Yeah.
For one, it costs a lot if you want to
play
sit at a table and play
Yeah.
some actual Texas Hold'em. But I like blackjack.
But it's a strategy, right? I mean,
It
you
is.
could learn it like a professional poker player is going to beat an amateur poker player. So you have better odds knowing what you're doing in that game for sure, right?
Yeah, and it's all about your poker face.
Your poker face.
I like craps.
Telltales.
Craps is a fun game.
I like roulette.
It's a very social game.
Yeah. Oh,
Craps is fun when you have a group of people and they're all because that's when you hear people yelling and screaming and celebrating.
That's true. Yeah,
They're always around the
that's
craps
true.
table.
I was my friend Josh. He got to the airport, or he got right into the hotel, and was going to meet him there, or his hotel. And he sat down and started playing roulette, and he hit like 3 numbers in a row on the table. Mm-hmm. So he went from $15 to 300 and something bucks really fast.
Yeah.
And but the funny thing was I look at it as pure luck.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you got lucky. You load some shit up, and statistically, you got some numbers. That's great. He was his perspective was he was hot.
Yeah.
He was on fire. It had something to do with the energy in the room.
I got to keep going.
He's like, I got to stay here and keep playing, you know? And I looked at it, and that's when it kind of dawned on me. I was like,
They got you.
I think that's what people think when they're playing poker or not, maybe not so much poker, but when they're playing shit like craps and roulette and stuff, it's I think the average person, well, maybe I'm generalizing a little too much, but I think that's kind of how they think though.
Yeah.
They're if they're having some luck, it's there's a blessing from God or something, and God's got his eyes on you, and go for it, champ.
Go for it, dude. Bet it all.
Yeah, bet it all, champ. Double it all, yeah.
Well, when I was in the Navy, we stopped at St. Martin, one of these Caribbean islands, and they had a bunch of casinos and stuff there. So I had gone out, and they had I forget what they even call it now, ship patrol or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Shore patrol,
right.
That walks around. So I was in the casino with some buddies, and I got one of these hot streaks playing roulette, and I was getting the number one after, and I wasn't betting that big, but pretty soon I had, stacks like this big of chips, and they were just ones and fives. That's all I was using, right? And so finally, the shore patrol came in there and saw that I was winning money, so they wanted to make sure, because then I'm a target,
safe.
right?
Yeah.
So then I had to, and they couldn't make me go back because I'm on leave. I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So they had to assign shore patrol to follow me around the rest of the night.
No, that's
Until I
hilarious.
had to be, you have a curfew. You had to be back at 2 or something. But I ended up leaving that table with $1,400.
Dang.
That's the most I've ever won.
That's
just from
a serious amount of
a little
money.
bit of gambling. And I was just, I had one of these weird hot streaks where I was just getting the numbers.
So what do you think that is?
I have no idea.
Because obviously it happens to people all the time because it wouldn't be a thing if it didn't, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where you just end up in a flow state. It's an interesting thing.
It's like the random number generator is all of a sudden
it's like
generating
there's a
the right
connection,
ones.
you know, that maybe it's some sort of quantum entanglement, you know? I don't know.
It was weird, you know, and at least I left while I was ahead.
Yeah, because most people don't.
Yeah.
They give it all back.
I think I ended up coming back the next day, and I probably
gave up some. Yeah, that's what Josh
I left
was doing.
that night with $1,400.
Like a champion.
Yeah.
Like 6 hookers and $1,400.
Oh, shit.
And that was the end of that night. And a bunch of rum because we were in St. Martin.
And a bunch of rum.
And I don't remember a thing. I've never been to St. Martin. I bet it was pretty nice, huh?
It's nice, yeah.
That's
waters are like super, super blue.
Is it kind of is like by Puerto Rico? Is that where it's at? Like one of those kind of out there?
It's down by like St. Croix, St. Thomas.
That's those are a lot of vacations areas for East Coasters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a buddy who likes to head out to St. Martin quite a bit.
Yeah, nice spot. They have a Jimmy Buffett store.
Oh shit!
In St. Martin.
Can't go wrong with Jimmy Buffett. Cheeseburger in paradise.
That's right. Did you go to Margaritaville when you were in Vegas?
No.
Every time I go to Vegas, I usually eat at Margaritaville.
Do you really?
I do.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just
tradition.
Kind of like it because Lisa and I went to go see Jimmy Buffett. In Vegas several years ago.
Oh, okay.
And even before that, though, he has that restaurant Margaritaville.
Yeah.
But the last 2 times I went there, it was terrible.
Really?
Yeah,
it was kind of
like
slipping,
it lost its something. So that tradition's probably broken now.
Fuck you, Jimmy Buffett, and your shitty restaurant. I didn't know Planet Hollywood was still a thing.
Planet Hollywood is.
I think is that the only place in the country? Remember they used to have like a restaurant chain all over the place.
Yeah, that's probably the only one. I mean, I'm guessing
probably the only one that's making money because it's Las Vegas.
Yeah, you could stick up anything in Vegas to make some money.
Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, missed all the parties. There's all these parties, you know, nightclub kind of parties, and you know, you're at these suites with all these people.
Everybody gets so fake, you know. They get so dressed up.
Yeah,
so
that was my big thing. Yeah, I didn't want to wear fancy clothes. I don't think I have to wear fancy clothes. Yeah. You know, at least have decent clothes, but don't get like ridiculous. You know,
that's what everybody does in Vegas,
and that's what.
That's the fun of it.
That's the whole thing. People. Go out to the nightclubs and stuff, and you got to have like a dress code. And I'm like, I don't even have the clothes to qualify. Yeah, you know, and I couldn't get in if
I can't wear my flip flops in. By God,
I couldn't get in if I tried. Yeah. You know. So, and that's just another sign. You know, it's kind of funny. It's like there's like tiers of people in this industry. You had like the young people, way more people, some real successful ones, and then most of them probably aren't because it's a hard business to like make money in. And then and there are other ones hitting the clubs and stuff. You know, they're all the loud music and the party and they're drinking too much and everything. And then you start to kind of like, as the ages go up, you start getting into like the more serious people. They're like sitting at the tables. They're paying the $1,000 to be at the tables. There's networks there, you know, and it's like their idea of a good time is like, let's go have some dinner, and then let's go home. Yeah, you know. And if anybody wants to go out for some cocktails, we can do that. But you know, nobody's going to the club. You know. Yeah. So it's like I'm starting to kind of see how it all plays out because like you talk to these guys. I miss all these parties. Not on purpose. I probably would have gone to them just because it's just people why not? Something to do. At least you could say you're doing something. And every time I was like hitting people up, it was like yesterday. You know, I'm like, oh god damn it, I missed that party. I missed JC's party. I missed it's like
Jay-Z's.
JC. Oh, you know who was there? Coolio. Coolio was there.
Oh really?
Coolio and Snoop Dogg.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see him?
Yeah, no, I didn't see him. So Coolio, so this little mastermind table group thing we were having. So Coolio happens to be a buddy of one of the guys that's sitting at this table, and like friends. And so Coolio came out as a friendly gesture for this guy that was sitting at this table. For his new business that he's launching.
Coolio is launching.
No, Coolio's not launching.
Oh, he's just like supporting his.
Yeah, so he's kind of like the.
I see that on Shark Tank.
It happens all the time. Yeah. Celebrity endorsements can really sell products really well, and so having a buddy who's a celebrity can kind of
So are they bringing these people in to try to like pump up their products here at this event that you're
Sometimes,
at? Is
yeah.
that what's happening?
Yeah,
with
a lot of
Coolio?
times. Yeah. So Coolio is probably, and the funny thing is like Coolio's got a gambling. I think he's got a gambling problem, and this guy Rich, this guy I'm talking about, he had a party like last night, and it was or the night before last, and it was a product launch party, like almost like a CD release party, but for his product. And Coolio was the celebrity that was supposed to be there, right, for the party.
He's just trying to make some money to go gamble with.
I don't know if he was going to make any money or if it was a friendly thing, but Coolio never showed up.
Oh.
Coolio.
He got stuck at the craps table.
He got stuck at the table.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whatever game he was playing, he was there till like 4 a.m, and he would not leave the table.
What a buddy he is.
Yeah, so I guess he calls Rich. I guess he calls like Rich or something. Like at 3 or 4 a.m, saying he's ready to go, or it's like 1:30, 2:30 in the morning. He's like, I'm ready to go. I'm coming up.
Wasted. I'm ready to go.
I'm coming up.
I lost all my money.
Yeah, Rich is like, just go home. Everybody's left already. Yeah. I tried to introduce you 7 times and you never showed up, so everybody's gone.
Dude, wouldn't you feel bad if you were the guy who's like, I got Coolio.
Oh man,
he's coming.
Yeah, that's
he's
how
my buddy.
That's what the guy was telling
me.
me.
And then he set you up, and then you're like, oh.
That's what he told. That's what he was telling me. He was like, you know how bad I kind of feel. I keep telling everybody he's going to show up and show up, and everybody's like getting let down because he just, he's partying.
What was his song anyway? Gangsters in Paradise.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Yeah. His song. It's like the one.
That's his one song, but it's a good song. I don't know what else he's got.
It was from like a movie.
Yeah.
Soundtrack.
It was like a 90s hit or early 2000s or something. Yeah. Such a good song.
Higher Education. What was the name of that movie?
I can't remember.
Higher Learning.
When the song is better, like you can remember the song, but you can't really remember the movie. You've done pretty good for yourself as a song person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg was paid, I believe. I think he was paid to be kind of like another celebrity endorsement at a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like the Snoop Dogg's ball or something.
He'd be a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah. The guy Rich was like, at least Snoop. When you're on Snoop's time, he's going to be late, maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
But he'll show up. When you're on Coolio's time,
you don't know Jack.
Coolio probably you have no idea.
Yeah. It's a wild card.
You have no idea. He's a wild card.
Coolio. I saw him on like Celebrity Wife Swap or something. Several years back.
He's an interesting character.
Not that I watch those type of shows.
I don't know. I thought I seen something where he was pretty broke. I
remember hearing that too.
He was pretty broke. He had. I think it was a meme on like Reddit or something. Yeah. It was like Coolio's worth $23 or something. I don't know. With that song, man, though, it's like you'd think that thing just kicks out some
every
royalties.
play on Spotify, he gets another half a cent,
or if that, 1/10 of 1 penny. Yeah, get that $20 royalty check for the 300,000 times it played on Spotify.
Yeah. How many people are looking up Coolio on Spotify? Probably a good amount.
Yeah. Well, people make playlists and stuff nowadays, I guess.
Yeah.
I've never used Spotify at all.
No, I haven't really.
Yeah. It's so weird.
I think I have a free Spotify account. I don't have a paid one where you can just like choose.
I liked Pandora for a while, and then they started, like the ads got so obnoxious, like so bad.
And I get ads from Palmdale on mine because my area code is 661. And so it's like,
that's the worst.
Palmdale Ford, come buy your car.
Yeah, they're not targeted very well at all.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking like the University of Phoenix or something pops up, or some home loan thing. Yeah.
Spotify. I don't listen to enough music anymore. I need to start. I go through these phases.
I'm the same way.
I listen to a lot, and then all of a sudden I just cut it out almost completely. Yeah. And I listen to a bunch of podcasts and stuff now.
Yeah, it's almost like, not enough time. There's not enough time. You want to absorb everything. You want to do everything. You want to and sometimes, things like music take a back seat just because of the commitment. I'm the same way. I mean, hell, I have, like I said, that's why I like CDs. I think I could just pop 5 CDs in my CD player and they just rotate.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's like at least I'm getting 5 different CDs going. But yeah, I used to be really Pandora and stuff, and I never really got into buying. Like, I'm gonna flesh out because I'm not gonna buy my stuff on iTunes, right? Because it's like technically belongs to iTunes.
Yeah.
Unless I go and try to burn everything. And then I was like, well, what if I lose my computer or I get pissed off at Apple and then they own all this music. This huge catalog is technically under their login.
I didn't think about that. I do have a lot of stuff on iTunes.
Yeah, and I was like, I just didn't want to have that relationship where they have all this leverage over me. Yeah. I'm paying them to basically rent music from them, to sound from them.
To just store some files for you.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, I don't think I like that
We'll
relationship.
allow you access to the stuff that you've purchased.
And you know, then you forget your password for whatever, and you can't get into iTunes or whatever for like ever. I just said ever like 5 times in a row right there. I've had this problem with iTunes and iCloud and passwords where they just don't want to like communicate. That's one thing you're lucky you don't have to experience with the Windows thing.
Yeah,
because you know you got to log into the cloud.
Even with my iPhone, I don't use the cloud.
I don't either. I stopped when I ran into password problems.
Yeah.
I couldn't. They got in this like weird infinite loop where I couldn't like reset my password, and I couldn't make anything work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a fucking piece of shit system. I'm never gonna do
Apple for crying out loud.
I know. Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. I bashed those bastards so bad. I took my iPhone 5S. I think that's what it is, right? And
yeah.
I got so mad. I grabbed it and then like I took the edge of the table and I just like fucking T-boned it.
Do you have anger issues?
That I do.
Yeah.
Certain triggers, man. Certain triggers really get me.
Yeah.
Passwords. Things like passwords trigger me.
Some things really piss me off.
Yeah.
Like passwords.
Passwords really piss me off.
Yeah.
When you're trying to log in on your smartphone,
Yeah.
you know, and your password isn't saved, and you click the little box and it should be there.
I don't even know why that box exists.
It angers me.
Or the one that says "Never show me this window again."
Yeah.
That you click on every single time.
So
I don't get it.
that's like the classic iPhone thing, you know. It's like it just seems like the passwords are retarded, and you always got to add them or enter them.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like that's the kind of shit that makes me mad. And then when you start getting the password wrong,
you need the thumbprint thing for everything.
That's right. And so then of course I draw into my own little logic of like, why in the fuck isn't this going? I paid how much money for all of this, and I'm experiencing this nightmare.
This shit just needs to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that 360 camera.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You said it, man. And I just get fucking spun up. And then I got to go, okay.
Well, you know, if you spend that much money on something,
You just
by God, it should work.
That's my thought.
Period.
But it's not good for my stress. It's not good for my hypertension. Probably. So they're winning when I get angry.
Yeah. The terrorists are winning.
The terrorists are winning. Those Russians are going to be winning. God.
Let me get some rock stars.
Did we have an inauguration while I was gone, or is that?
That is Friday.
This
we are
one
still
coming
under
up?
Obama control.
Oh, okay. I just heard he gave Chelsea Manning a pretty good
Clemency.
clemency.
And I'm not sure the difference between clemency and pardon.
I think he's got to serve time, but instead of 30
Is it
years,
like a
it's less.
reduction?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Manning to have an opinion. I was thinking about that today. It's like I've heard a lot about Snowden.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about Assange.
I think he did a bunch. Well, he gave the WikiLeaks guys a bunch of stuff. And I guess the big cover-up was like, hey, we're blowing a bunch of people up with drones, and and there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of collateral damage that's being covered up,
So all Manning did was just expose that.
Yeah,
So did it
that's
really put Americans in danger, which is what the claim is?
Yeah, right. That's what they always say. That's their default. Like, you're a bad actor in the United States and you committed espionage.
Yeah, people talk about being treason, and if our government is really doing like really shady things, especially to its own people, I want to know about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's the hypocrisy of the United States government.
I think it had something to do, and this is just my guess. Like I said, I don't know for sure, and I don't know that much about Manning. But I know Julian Assange came out like 2 days ago and said that he would allow the U.S. to extradite him.
Oh, really?
If they pardoned Manning.
Oh, wow.
Because Manning is the one who, I guess, gave them information,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I wonder if this has something to do with that, because the government wants to get Assange for all the WikiLeaks stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I could see Obama would do anything with
That could be.
with him.
Yeah.
But I doubt Assange is going to really...
I know there was a huge petition with over 1 million signatures that went to the president. Not that that means anything. I don't know.
I see those guys in Santa Cruz all the time.
Yeah.
On the street.
It's like,
you want to save the whales,
Yeah.
sir? Just sign my petition.
I think for anything to get like considered, for it to even make it to the chopping block, you need to have
so many.
X number of signatures.
It's not like they check those. I could sit around and write a different name on a thing 100 million times.
You know how the world works.
Bullshit.
You know how the world works. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
It's all about appearance, man. Just look busy.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
President Trump is going to probably repeal it.
Repeal it. Sorry, Manning.
Sorry, man, and we're gonna bring you back to 30.
What prison do they put Manning in?
Oh, he's probably in Fort Knox or something.
No, I mean a male or female.
Oh, he's considered female.
So, yeah. He's had the full blown
Chelsea Manning transgender. I have no idea. I don't know how does that work inside a federal penitentiary.
I don't know.
I think there's some human rights things that they have to address.
Yeah.
And I think that falls underneath that. This day and age, it's like, if that's the way you're going to be identified, then that's the way you're going to be treated.
There you go. Yeah.
But in terms of like, I don't know if the dude's on hormones or if she's on hormones or if she had any operations or anything.
I imagine if he's been snipped, then they'll allow him in a.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them allowing a non-snipped gender bender.
It seems like the rest of the world calls her, and she's a she. So my guess is that she probably has. I don't know.
I read an article today that was about someone called Ice Cream Killer, which is some woman, I guess, in Austria.
Oh, really?
And I don't know the story exactly, but it was like her husband and somebody else that she chopped up into little pieces and froze them all.
Ooh.
And put like some sort of packing in there to keep it from smelling. Anyway, she got caught. And the article was trying to say that she was so dangerous that they're putting her in a male prison.
What?
Yeah, and it was on the front of Yahoo News. I just saw it on there, and I thought about it from this last story.
Is it fake news?
Everything is fake news. I'm assuming, especially on Yahoo.
You would think some of that solitary confinement in a female prison would probably solve the problem.
It could be. It's in Austria though.
Austria's different.
So maybe who the hell knows what they got going on. But it wasn't one of them. You know how a lot of the fake news or the real bullshit ones will say sponsored?
Yeah.
And it's some sort of ad.
You know what cracks me up is like Alex Jones. You ever follow any of the Alex Jones stuff?
I listen.
He's like the biggest. He's like, to me, he puts out the sensationalist like fake news, right? There may be some truth to some of the things inside the articles, right? But most of it's like sensationalism designed to like just get under your skin.
I think every news is like that.
Oh yeah, no.
Everybody's got their own fucking bit. But yeah, he definitely.
He does like he's like
he's just super fired up and over the top.
Like ISIS and Mexican mafia are now like bombing the U.S. on the borders and stuff. Okay, so maybe some gunshots like flew over like the fucking creek over there, and all of a sudden it's like World War III's going down.
Yeah.
So.
The whole fake news thing, though, every news I hear right now, to me, is fake. I don't believe anything I hear.
I wonder what they're going to do to fix that. There's supposed to be some more, like, citation stuff, social endorsement, things like that. Yeah,
but the thing is, how do you control it? Because the people that are in charge of controlling it are going to be biased in their own way. So anything that they don't agree with, they're going to say is fake. That's why you have every organization right now calling it's like a trend.
Yeah.
I don't like what you're saying. It's fake.
There's going to be... I can tell you, I can give you the insight on how a lot of fake news is generated and why. And it's because fake news sells. People click on the headlines because the headlines are outrageous.
You're talking about the fake news like we see on Facebook every once in a while. You get these it's just like something that's ridiculous, right? Completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
That most people, I'd imagine, don't even believe.
Yeah.
But now everybody is using that term to call everybody else fake news, right?
Right.
So it's not just those stupid little things you see on Facebook.
These native advertorials, a fake story about.
Yeah, it's like everybody's calling everybody else fake news. Like what Donald Trump just called CNN fake news.
Yeah.
Which I agree, and I agree with everybody out there is fake news.
Well, CNN's like famous for like putting a green screen up and pretending they're in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And there's bullets flying by their heads. Like they get really theatrical.
Well, what Brian Williams said, like his helicopter got shot.
Oh, yeah.
Hillary Clinton said she was under sniper fire, and then they show her like getting out of the helicopter, getting flowers.
It's so crazy. It's like perception is reality. It's like history books are. That's how history books are written. They're written by the winner.
Well, the thing is, there's too many ways to call bullshit on these people now. Everybody has cameras. Everybody has cell phones.
Right.
And these people. I imagine every society is getting lied to and has always been.
Yeah. We're just kind of
we can catch on to some of it now,
thinning the veil.
But to think that anyone's going to come out there and tell us the truth, I think is naive.
Yeah, no,
these people in power just
and of course most of that's going to be put through some person's subjective filter.
Yeah.
Like so the way they report it's going to be very...
And a lot of these main news organizations are owned by just a few people.
Yeah.
So they're going to filter what they want people to know and think.
Right.
It's like there's a war on for your mind.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. It's... who do you believe? You really can't. It's been like this for a while too. I mean, the world's been kind of upside down. I think the more self-aware, I think, like I became about things, about religion. Like when I started looking at religion from like a hey, wait a minute, there's some inconsistencies here. And hey, wait a minute, who's been spoon feeding me all of this information? Yeah. You're not even a very smart person, you get this like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You start to get those hey, wait a minutes about like everything. Yeah. Wait a minute, what did he just say?
You gotta look at everything from outside the box.
Yeah, and you start to find that nobody's right on anything. It's all like subjective,
What was that word?
Yeah, subjective.
Yeah, that's how I think. Everybody that thinks we know everything now.
Yeah.
And everything it's like.
So how do you? The thing is, I guess, given the fact that this is the world we live in, like how does one continue to operate in a world like this? Because there are governments, they are real. We all rely on the government for a lot of stuff in this country. When you start to hear all this top level politics and this stuff sounds really shady.
Yeah. Well, you need people to get involved, right? You need good people to get involved for the right reasons. So there still has to be people that are interested and want to get involved in that type of thing.
Yeah, need to be motivated.
Yeah, I am not one of those people. Yeah. I want to just stay away from it all.
Leave me alone.
I want to have my cabin in the woods, go out and climb mountains.
Yeah.
And peace.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And the more I watch that stuff, it just makes me worked up.
Yeah.
And I get I went probably a good 6 years without watching hardly any news or keeping involved after a long period of watching way too much.
Yeah. I guess my only concern is, and it's only one concern, is when things start to affect you personally.
Yeah.
When things start to roll down the hill and you're getting affected.
Like your health care or something happens.
Yeah, right. It definitely could be health care. That's a great example since a lot of people are and that's another confusing, because there's a huge fucking mouth that's just going, this is broken. And I think it is broken. Honestly, I think it is. But I also know that there's people out there who need, they need to have this, sure. Right? Because they would never have been able to get insurance because of pre-existing conditions and stuff, which is it kind of sucks. It's a roll of the dice, but you're living in society, and it's if you look at society as instead of this competition amongst everybody, but just there's a bell curve there. There's going to be people lagging always. There's going to be people in the middle that are doing just fine, and then there's going to be overachievers over here.
Yeah. You're always going to have that. And
you're always going to have that. So you have to factor in these people over here and just assume they're always going to be here. But it turns out there's a huge disparity in terms of the health insurance as an example. I mean, it's so messed up in this country that, the bell curve is quite wide, but anything else, welfare, universal, incomes or whatever, it's always going to be that bell curve, and I think we get too short-sighted in this country, where you don't necessarily factor in this stuff over here, maybe the lower income stuff.
Yeah,
it's more can we push them out of the way and make them suffer more? Why we really nurture the right hand side of the graph. I think that's kind of one good thing about, as much as I hate the two-party system. Yeah,
the good thing about it is it always swings, right? I think that's what keeps us down the middle on an average.
Yeah.
So we go way one way, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is the end." It's crazy.
Here we go. Yeah.
And then a few years later, there's a cycle. Everybody goes the other way, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, now we're headed to hell." Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just continuously and look throughout history. That's kind of how it's.
That's kind of how it has. I mean, this is one interesting thing is I think the Republicans have control of everything. And it hasn't been that way in 80 years. So that's kind of that's a red flag. Well, not a red flag that the Republicans have control. It's just kind of a red flag for those Democrats.
Has it been 80 years?
Yeah, it's been 80 years since we have this kind of power shift the way it is right now. That's what I heard on NPR.
I don't know for sure.
NPR could be fake news now. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. They just do a better job of it. But yeah. It sounds like the Democrats must have done a really bad job, and they pissed off a hell of a lot of people to make that kind of thing happen, right?
Well, both parties are focused on a certain group of people instead of
like the
broad, like
the
everyone's
broad
like,
average.
we need to help these people, and these ones are forgotten about, and they both have their forgotten about groups.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, nobody's saying everybody.
Right, and I think that's probably what happened, right? So they got too granular with the people that they're trying to focus on, right? They're like segmenting everybody out, and there's a huge number of people that really aren't being addressed properly.
Yeah.
And those people kind of came out in droves and said, you know what, fuck you, goodbye, see you later. So
we'll see what happens.
I'm kind of interested to see what happens, because a lot of it, a lot of it's like people voted for, like, say, Donald Trump because the things he said, right? Even though he's a compulsive, like, liar, right, with a history of lying.
Yeah, name a politician that isn't.
Yeah, but he's like, I mean, they all, you got a good point there, right? But when you're
that's the job of a politician.
But
right?
you think like society would like catch on to the blatant stuff, right? It's like, I'm going to build a wall. It's going to be 10 feet high. It's going to go across the entire Mexican border, and we're going to make Mexico pay for it.
It just got taller.
Yeah. That's enough. That's enough. People are convinced. I want that guy. It's like, he can't build the wall. It's not going to happen, and Mexico's not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's one obvious, like, literal silly example, I
mean, he may build a wall. He may spend a ton of money and build a wall there.
Probably
will
will
be like the Great Wall of America.
Probably will.
With a big Trump sign.
Every 50 feet, it's going to say Trump on it.
And there'll be a casino.
And the taxpayer will pay for it. And it'll be pretty useless, probably. There's probably going to be lots of doors. In fact, there should be doors.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
I guess we shall see.
We shall see. Yeah. That's about all we can do. You can't go off of history.
What do you think the inauguration is going to be like? You think there's going to be any craziness?
I think it's going to be low ratings. I think it's going to be low ratings on TV.
I bet it won't. I bet it's going to be.
You don't think so?
No, he makes a show out of everything.
Yeah.
He gets the highest ratings out of everything.
That's true. Yeah, you said it right, man. Yeah, see, my personal opinion's coming in, and it's completely off. Completely off.
It's going to be like an extravaganza.
Yeah, it's probably going to get the highest fucking ratings ever because it's like you're fired on a whole nother level.
He's probably going to come in on an elevator, like raise up from the ground, like WWF, man, when they start out.
Yeah. He probably,
in this corner, weighing in at 252 pounds.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He hired all the best people that make shows super awesome. And he's got a history of that. That's his life, is reality TV. So I'm sure he's got the best producers. He's got the best storytellers, everybody, showrunners to make it happen.
We shall see.
Yeah. I probably won't be watching it, though. Yeah. I wouldn't watch it regardless of who it is. I just don't watch that shit.
I don't think I've ever watched an inauguration.
No. But, yeah, so starting next week, huh?
Starting Friday.
So Friday's and it's like a 3 or 4 day thing, isn't it?
I think it is.
You just like party for like a week?
Yeah, different.
Celebrate, pat each other on the back?
So how do you think the move goes? Do you think Obama's already moved out?
I think I heard he's moving down the street.
Yeah, he's got a place. He got 3 houses. I think he's got one in Hawaii, one in D.C. and maybe
because he didn't want to move his kids out of school or something.
Yeah.
So they're going to stay there for a while. So I bet he's going
to stay in the whole scene. Like most presidents, when they leave the office, they stay out.
Really?
They don't get involved.
Yeah.
But he's already said that he's not going to. Because the Democrats, who else do they have that's likable, I guess.
Capable,
likable for them.
I don't know.
Nobody.
I
mean, Hillary Clinton was like their go-to.
That was pathetic.
Sad.
That is super sad. Yeah. The lady just opened her mouth and you're like cringing. You're like, please shut up. Don't say a word.
I couldn't stand that smile that she had.
Yeah. God, there's just so many different things about that person. It's funny, when Bill Clinton was getting elected, when I was a kid, I remember I heard an adult when I was a kid. Because, I think I was like young, right? When Bill Clinton was president. The reason why I overheard adults say that she's voting for Bill Clinton because she thought he was cute.
Yeah.
Like she liked him from just that perspective, right? Like the politics didn't mean anything.
Oh, man. There's a huge percentage of voters that just vote based on
aesthetics.
Who their parents voted for, or who looks the best or something, Very little people know. Like you can watch those shows where they go on the street.
It's not the policies. I think the policies come like way after, after your charisma skills have kind of gotten you through the door. And I think they just tried to force feed everybody Hillary Clinton because she happened to be married to Bill Clinton, and she got into like I don't think she would have probably been nowhere. She would have never gone up that ladder as high as she did without like a Bill Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Just because her personality is like fucking bad. She's got a terrible personality.
No, she's not a likable person.
That's the thing. Yeah, I'm sure she's a nice person, but
I doubt it.
And maybe not. I don't know. I mean, she is a mother.
A lot of people say she's a terrible person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I know she's a mother, so she can't be like super evil, but
because all mothers are fantastic.
Well, I'm not saying all of them are, but I mean, you got to have like some compassion in there somewhere, I guess. It's not all coal, maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited to see what happens. It's going to be a meteor shower, or it's going to be some rain of success. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out. Anyway, well, hanging in there. What time is it? Well, we're a little over an hour here. Just hanging out.
What's coming up?
Let's see. We're in the middle of January. I'll be going down south like next month or March again, San Diego, another conference. I've been a kind of a reckless glutton of late, so I'm really got to crack down again and just kind of regulate food and hit the gym hard. And so I'm kind of excited about that, because I've been kind of out of that loop for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
and I can tell.
Yeah,
I
you
just
look
feel
terrible.
I just feel it. Look bad, feel bad, feel bad, look bad, whatever. And then for me personally, like after going to this event, it's like I got a lot of stuff going on, ways of like making some more money, having more fun with all of that. So
you got to act on it before you forget it.
Yeah. Well, the good thing now is, it's not so much. There were times it was like, oh my God, that's mind blowing. I got to go try that, and then you're not good enough to even really execute.
You got to build up the steps.
You got to build up the steps, and I think I've been doing this so much. Especially like in the last year, that now it's like you're starting to refine everything.
Yeah.
So like when somebody throws a tip at you, it's like you've been working at something so long that when you hear that tip, you're like, oh, that's a good tip. I won't forget that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to forget.
So you've got your foundation. Now it's just tweaks.
Yeah, you said it. So that's a really good thing. And so I'm kind of like progressing. And I was sitting there at the table and listening to all these guys who are like, 6-figure a month kind of guys. They're making a lot of money. 6 figures is a lot of money to be making every month. And, and they're kind of explaining how they're doing it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm kind of on that path, I'm doing everything right. There's just like some things that I need to take more like initiative on, making bigger, better, deals with companies and stuff, or direct the buyer approach, B2B approach, cut the middlemen out, and make it a business as opposed to, it's funny because I kind of call it my other business, but I don't really run it like a business.
Yeah.
It's like I got cash flow and things coming in and out, but I'm not like I'm not living in QuickBooks.
This is my bread and butter.
Yeah. And I'm not living in QuickBooks, and it's not my bread and butter.
Well, sounds like that's a good way to have it.
It's a good way to have it. Yeah.
Low stress, probably.
And that's another really good observation, because this stuff can eat you alive. You could be working 16 hours a day, or you could work 4 hours a day.
I'd opt on the 4-hour side.
Well, what's cool is like once you kind of figure things out, you can start to kind of parcel it out to virtual assistants and stuff, right? And that's kind of like the next thing. Is like once you start like you got like a workflow.
Delegate.
You start to delegate, and you have people like building stuff for you. Like I'm really heavy into like building out websites now, like long-term websites in these niches that are going to be around for the next 100 years. As long as human beings are still walking, we're going to have these things, like rehab, addiction, mental health kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Human beings are always going to be addicted to something. They're always going to need to get bailed out on it.
Yeah.
Old folk stuff. People are getting older.
Going to get old.
You and me are going to get old. We're going to be looking at the internet and for problem or solutions to our problems.
Yeah.
Where we already are, So I want to make sure I'm there to like provide those solutions.
What's the next big internet?
I think it's the VR stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put on those VR goggles and you look around, and all of a sudden, like that's your internet.
There.
That is your internet.
We could have this podcast and not have to drive.
Yeah. Yeah, that very well could be. If we can make the quality work, which we could.
Yeah.
We could these days. We could technically do that. And I like the idea. I still want to do it. I just haven't executed on it. Is having the camera in here on the table, or add another seat,
and then someone could be.
And that's somebody else. So they're sitting there with us.
Yeah. I mean, we've watched enough of those videos now. We can imagine what that looks like.
I know exactly. Yeah. It's like watching. It's like the new TVs, the new movies, and the new document. It's gonna be nuts, right? Because they're gonna. It's good. Like if you and I were having a movie scene, and we're here, we're there's dialogue.
Yeah.
You could put the viewer like right here in the room watching the whole thing take place. If I pull out a gun and I shoot you in the chest, he's like sitting there watching me shoot you in the chest.
That got violent.
Isn't that crazy? Or I choke you, or I slap you in the face.
You do have a temper.
And I was thinking the other day, like I put on the Dreamcast and I was like hanging out, and
What's the Dreamcast? Is that what you're?
That's the one for the Pixel, the one I got with Google.
Oh, okay. Oh, just the headset.
Oh yeah,
itself
that's
is
right.
called the Dreamcast?
Yeah, that's right. You got the cardboard one. I got the Google Pixel, the Dreamcast one.
Okay.
This came with the phone. They just gave it to me. But my brain, it like tricked my brain. I feel like my brain got tricked into thinking I'm really there. I think it tricks your brain into thinking you're really there after a while. Like you know how the suspension of disbelief with movies.
Yeah.
It's like you just get drawn into it. It's not real, but you get drawn into it.
After a while, you're like,
your brain is like,
I'm on this roller coaster.
It's the same. I think it's the exact same thing. It's like your brain like gets tricked into thinking it's really there.
Yeah.
And you start watching weird movies and shit. You're just like in the movie.
Have you found some more good ones?
I haven't played with it in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple of good ones.
Are they on a new app, or because I have that within?
I think I've been I got one more. I haven't looked at it. There's another one that gives you a lot of good content too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out later. Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah. I love that thing. That thing is awesome.
I'm looking forward to the time when like my head doesn't hurt when I use it.
Especially the cardboard one.
Oh yeah.
I cut up some pieces of foam I had from my.
Because you have that kind of hurts your head.
Oh yeah, it gave me like a scab on my nose.
You're using it a lot. That's awesome. But it's like the same thing that I got, except for you don't have a little remote. But you got a button.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That thing's cool.
Yeah, those are so much fun. I think that's the future, though. That's gonna be a future TV. I think
they'll have to figure out a way to do it where it's not. They're gonna come out with something where it's not.
Yeah.
Probably maybe just some sort of glasses, goggles.
Yeah. What would that be? Or implants maybe
just like LASIK.
Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
I think isn't that a Black Mirror episode where
I don't know.
I think there is where they're wearing like that's right. They're wearing contacts or something, or maybe there's some sort of modification.
Was that the Facebook one?
That's the social strength one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they had a device.
The social score.
I think they had a phone.
That was an app. Was that what it was? I thought they were seeing something, but then they were like communicating with their device. I guess maybe that's probably what it was. But yeah, wouldn't that be weird though if you could like flip on like your AI or your VR?
I'm sure it's possible.
Anything's possible. I'm starting to realize like if you could think of it, you could dream it, we could probably make it in this world eventually.
Yeah, that's why we could think of it.
Yeah. So that's a
rabbit hole.
That's a rabbit hole. I think, therefore I am.
Yeah, that's a good quote. Did you come up with that?
I just riffed off of yours. Yeah, just riffing.
Genius.
Yeah, wherever you go, there you are.
You put the gene in genius.
I put the gene in genius. You can tell by just listening to me. You're like, that guy knows what he's talking about. Hence the I don't know for sure show. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, anyway, you want to call it quits?
Nap all day, sleep all night. Party never.
Party never. That's another thing that makes no sense. But
sleep all the time, have no fun. I think that's the
sleep all the time, have no fun.
Right.
Put on your VR goggles and forget you're alive.
That's like a shirt I could see like a grandpa.
Yeah. Sticking it to the man. This is my sticking it to the man shirt.
Nap all day, sleep all night.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Your parties.
Fuck you, life.
Wake me up when I'm dead.
Yeah, on my tombstone. It's like, he's the guy that cheated life by literally not living it. Oh, man. Okay, what do you say?
See you next Tuesday.
I'm a little talked out. Considering You've
been on a plane. You're in Nevada.
We hit this rapid fire. We just got home and got going.
Sure did.
I just came from the airport. You were literally 5 minutes ahead of me.
I think we missed the audio the whole time though.
What's that? Oh, you had me scared.
The lines are moving.
Oh, just kidding. Yeah, we're good. Okay, well, let's get out of here. How can people get a hold of you?
Maxx on the Rocks.
Maxx on the Rocks.
Instagram. At Maxx on the Rocks.
And C12 Gene is my Instagram.
Far out.
All right, let's take it easy. Adios, everybody. Hit the subscribe button.
Keep going straight.
Keep going straight. Over and out. What's this do? Nothing. Doesn't do shit. Auto. That doesn't do anything. Fade to black.